Okay, I'm going to do a fast version. I did a long version already, so if you need a longer version, then it's about 45, 50-minute video. Ask me for it. All right, here is the subject to app. So this is the activity wall. If you're not familiar with Podio, all workspaces have an activity wall, very much like Facebook or any other kind of social media. This is the name of the app. These are your, I'm sorry, this is the name of the workspace. Subject to is the name of the workspace. You have an activity app, which takes you to your activity wall that tells you everything that's happened in this workspace since it was created. Then you have your entity info. This is your buying entity. The name of the business or the name that you're buying, the trust, what have you, that you're buying this property subject to in. And then you have your subject to app, which is where you create your documents and you put all your agreements in. So we're going to start here with our entity info. And I'm going to add a new one. I'm hoping that this is making a little yellow circle so you can see where I'm clicking. All right, so we're going to say, let's say subject, well, let's just do it like this. 123 Main Street. Yes.
So are we going at 5 or not because I'm already ready?
Okay, well, your grandparents have to meet us there, so. All right. 123 Main Street Family Trust. The signer's name is going to be Family Trustee. The signer, Family Trust. Signer. And the title is going to be Trustee. Acquisitions Rep, full name. Okay. This is the acquisitions rep, whoever is representing your company and dealing with the seller regarding getting this property under contract. It may be the same person, it may not be. This is the signer, whoever is signing for the trust or your LLC. This is their title. This is the person that the seller is dealing with. Phone number. This is the number that you want people to call. Title company, the seller, it's going to go on the contracts, it's going to go in the email, it's going to go everywhere. So the phone number that you will answer that you want people to call you on. The email address that you check regularly. This is the same thing. This is going to go on all your contact information regarding this deal. Return address. Okay, you're going to put the address portion only. See right over here, this help text that pops up? If you see a black box pop up, that is a help text to help you guide you through this question. Sometimes it tells you why it's important, and sometimes it gives you key information. This one says the address portion only. The city, state, and zip go in the next field. This is where the file deed will be mailed. The seller will mail correspondence here also, so make sure that is the one you don't mind using. So it's a P.O. box, for example, whatever. Okay, let me do my address so that YouTube doesn't get me in trouble for using somebody else's information. All right, so now we save the entity. Now we're going to go create our subject to. I'm sorry. Need to click up here on subject to. If I click on entity information, it brings up, it said entity info up there in the middle. It opens up all the entities I've created. You can create a new entity each time, or you can use the same one. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to subject to. Okay, so now we're going to click on add subject to app. Okay, this deal nickname is going to be subject to short video example. All right, now we're going to choose the buying entity we just created. What did I call it? 123 Main Street Family Trust. And then we're going to click save. All right. I will advise you when using Podio, it's better to go ahead and save as soon as possible. Don't fill out the entire form and then try to save, because if you happen to lose signal on your cell phone, for example, if you're doing this on your cell phone, you could lose all the information that you put in. So I always save. After that, once you've saved the new item, Podio will always auto-save. All right. Then we're going to go down here to the seller's name. We'll put in Susan Seller. And then we're going to put in her phone number. Actually, let me use a different one. Matter of fact, I'm just going to use mine. Well, let me pause this and go check. Okay. I wanted to use an email address that I have not previously used, so that it will not show that I have so many duplicates. All right. We're going to do my own email. All right. So all you got to do really is enter the email address, and then literally we're going to click send web form via seller. You have to save it first, by the way. I saved it when I created it. If I was to create this and then click put the email address and then click send the web form via seller's email, and I have not saved it yet, the automation will not work. You have to save it before any automation will work. And you see here all the stuff that it's already been doing since I saved it. There's a lot of stuff that's brought in automatically, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to just really drive that home. You've got to save it before you push the button. All right, so now I'm going to click save, send web form via seller's email. Make sure an email is entered before clicking. You want to make sure that there's an email in the seller's email field. Otherwise, when you click this button, it's not going to do anything because there's not an email to send it to. So we're going to click that. And this over here is the activity wall. It shows you what's been going on in this app. And if you ever need to change anything, you can always go back and click View Changes. And then if you messed up something and you need to go back, then you just click Revert this revision. All right, let me go to my email. Pause this. Okay, so the email came from Karen Maxwell. It says information gathering web form link. Hello, we are working on the next phase of your file in order to purchase your property. Basically, I need some very basic information to complete some forms. Depending on which way we go with this, we will need this information to contact the bank. Most of the information you will need can be found on your mortgage company's website if you have an online account with them, or it may be on your mortgage statement. It's a web form. It must be filled out online on a computer or cell phone, and you will need your bank information, loan number, interest rate, address, phone number, loan amount, payment amount, etc., along with your personal information needed to complete our forms. We do not share or sell our information to anyone. It goes straight into our system to prepare the forms and send back to you. Please give me a call at, there's my phone number. If you have any questions, just click on the link and fill in all this information, then submit. All right, so this is the email that goes to the seller. All right, information gathering form. Here we go. We said her name was Susan Seller, and her phone number, and then her email. Now, the importance of this email is if she enters the same email, it's going to notify you that there's a duplicate. If she uses a different email, then it's not going to notify you that there's a duplicate. And I'm going to show you why that's important. So I used all right. And let's see, seller date of birth. This is just a sample. YouTube, they like to kick me off because I give personal information sometimes on other people. Let's see, second seller's name. Let's do Ron Seller. And the seller's date of birth. All just fake information. Fake address. Just filling out this form. Now let's say she had a bankruptcy. Was it discharged? Uh-oh. I think it's the word discharged. Yes, let's say it has solar panels. Yes. All right, the original balance of the mortgage is, let's say, $150,000. The current balance is $145,000. Original mortgage term, example, 15-year, 20-year, 30-year. Let's say 20-year. Monthly payment, let's say $1,800. Last mortgage payment date, November the 1st. Are the property taxes included in the monthly payment? Yes. Are the insurances included? Let's say no. PMI, yes. I mean, MPI, mortgage premium insurance. Second lien balance, okay, that's our solar panels. So let's say $30,000 monthly payment. Let's say they pay $50,000, and the second lien solar panel company second lien account number. What happened to my account number? Maybe I haven't gotten there yet. Third lender name. If they don't put NA, you can go back and do it later, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Oh, there's the interest rate, 3.5, lender address. I need to move that up. I'll fix that. This is why we beta test. Lender address, P.O. Box 111, Sample City, Texas, 77777. 555 555 555. Lender fax number 555 555 5555. 5556 is what I always use for the fake fax number. Account number, I always use the same. And then they hit submit. All right, it says thank you for your submission. We will get back to you as soon as possible. That's the end of what the seller has to do. Now, over here in the Subject To app, we now have two called Subject To Short Video Example. This is because this is the original one we created. There's nothing in here except for literally the information we put in earlier. We gave it a nickname, we hit 1, 2, 3. We picked our buying entity, and then we came down here and put in our seller's name and email, and then we put we clicked send web form via seller email. Now, the reason that I have it, I could have it delete it or update it, but what if you were to put something else in there that you need and it took it away? It deleted it. What if you had a whole bunch of notes in here and it took it away? I don't want that to happen. So I just had it mark it as a duplicate. And then you can decide, for example, long set of notes that I need to move to new file. All right. Then all you would do, if there's something over here that you don't have, maybe you've already came to the agreement and you've got it in there and you need to move it all, then you just have to re-enter it all. But that way you still remember. All right, so we're going to do Control V and bring those notes over to the new one. Then the buying entity, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 family Main Street Family Trust, and then the system is going to begin pulling that information in. What if you say, oh, you know what, I need to buy that in the other entity. Oops, sorry. I need to buy that in the other entity. I need to take that one off, and now I want to choose subjects to sample LLP. Then you change it, and then it's going to go get the other information as long as it's in the other entity app. So this connects it to the entity app. All right. Let's see. Our main, this isn't going to work because that's not an actual address. That will, oh, maybe there is a 1, 2, 3 Main Street. Anyway, that would have brought up the, let's see, that'll bring up the map. Some people like to have a map for reference, some people don't. All right, so then we start with the seller information. All right, now we're going to start. You've already negotiated this subject to deal, and now you're going to start entering the information because now you need to get your documents ready to either meet with your seller, to get them signed, meet them somewhere to get documents notarized, whatever you need to do at this point. All right. Seller info. This one has 2 sellers. This is important because depending on whether there are 1 or 2 sellers is how many power of attorneys that the system will create. So I did it very simply. Just tell the system how many sellers are in this deal. All right. First one is Susan Seller. There's her phone number. There's her email address. There's her date of birth. There's her fake social security number. Here's her husband's name. Here's his fake birthday, his fake social security number, their mailing address, the property address. I'll tell you what happens a lot. People will fill this out and they will forget to they'll just put 1, 2, 3 Main Street. They assume that you know that you're only buying properties in that one area and that you should know. That's another reason I have the map up here, because if you start putting the address of the map, it'll find the one that's most likely where the property is. Then you're just going to go through here and make sure, like sometimes they won't capitalize things. So if they had submitted it with Gregg County not being capitalized, everything that's in here is going to go on legal documents. So you want to make sure that it's spelled right and it's grammatical. Has correct punctuation, has capitalization, things like that. Property located in what state, Texas, what type of property. Maybe they forgot to fill this out. So let's make sure that you click this button. Then has the mortgage ever been modified? No, please enter. Okay, that can be, that's blank because this is a no. If that was a yes, then there would need to be some information in there. Any lawsuits or bankruptcies? Yes, they had a bankruptcy in Chapter 13, filed in 2000, discharged in 2002. So we know you'll have to make that determination. Is this something that I have to look at? Is this potentially a problem? But this shouldn't be because it was 2002. That was 20 years ago. Does the property have solar panels? Yes. Any additional liens? Yes. Please list the amount for any additional liens. Solar panel company lien in the amount of $30,000. So if that wasn't included in this down here, then you would need to make sure that it got put in there. please list, okay, please, seller, okay. Original balance is 150. Current balance, I don't know why that's doing that. I clearly put 145. I gotta look into that. All right, 20 years at 3.5%. Monthly payment is $1,800. Last mortgage date was November 1st. Are the property taxes included? Yes. Is the insurance included? No. And mortgage premium insurance included? Yes. So you're going to need to know, you need to know this because you're going to have to pay for additional for insurance. That needs to go into your evaluation of, is this a good deal or not? Second lien balance is $30,000. They pay $50 a month. It's with the solar panel company. Now, what if this was child support? Then I would say, oh, they don't have their lien up here for the solar panel company that they mentioned. So you might need to go add that. Or maybe you talked to them and they told you, like, hey, I have a child support lien of $10,000. Let's say 77.53, just to have something fun to work with. The total third lien monthly amount payment, they're not paying it, so we're going to say 0. Third lender name, we're going to go in and edit that. Texas Attorney General Child Support. Because that's not a monthly payment, but that's going to have to be taken care of before this deal can close. All right, then that's going to add that up. $1,850. Let's see, we've got, this one was $1,800 and then 50, so $1,850, and that's totaled up right there. Then the difference, oh, let me fix that. Hold on. Okay. It said difference is, so now it's corrected. It says difference in the actual loan balance. And my computer will speed up. We'll get back to that. All right. So we were down here at this question. Difference in the actual loan balance. When you see these black screens pop up, remember that's a helper. That's a help text. The difference in the loan balance, any net difference between the approximate total amount owed on the existing loan and the actual balance on the existing loan. So how is that going to be paid for? If y'all start this and they say, oh, my balance is $97,000, and then when we get to closing, the actual balance is $113,000, who's going to pay that difference? What Roger suggests is that you put that it shall be adjusted by the title company as the final purchase price. If you choose a different one, a different other, then edit below. So what that means is you're going to click on this, and then the automation here shows you, this activity wall shows you everything that happened. And now it says shall be adjusted by the title company as the final purchase price. If you want to edit it, then you just go in and edit it. Take it off. Karen edited to show example. All right. All right. Additional information for documents. Deadline for signing contract. I like to give a weekend. Date to start making payments. We're going to start making payments on, let's do February 1st. Day of the month you plan on making the payments. I'm not going to go through all this because it's the help text. You need to make sure you read it, and I'm trying to make sure that this video is short enough. Estimated, it says numbers only. So my help text, if I had read that, it would have said that. We can close next Friday. Let's have the buyer pay, and then we'll do seller pays sellers and buyer pays buyers closing cost. The amount that we're paying for the equity, let's say we're going to pay $1,000. All right, so now the total calculation for all loans has been totaled up. That's the 145 plus the 30 plus the 77.53. And then there's the extra $1,000. That's the total calculation for all the loans or liens. And this is the sales price, the balance of the loans, plus the amount you're paying for equity. So the total sales price is $183,753. The appliances to be included, all appliances, or you can choose individual ones. Date of the month agreed. Today's the 18th of November, 2022. 2-digit year agreed. Inspection period, I want 3 days. All right, now we're into your buying entity, your buying info. So when we chose the entity at the top, it brought in all this information. So if you have a mistake here, if something's misspelled, then you would go back into the entity and change it. Go up here, click on that. Let's change it to LLC. I did this earlier and thought it didn't work, but it did. It just took a minute to show up. Then you can go, let's say you want to change the phone number. Anything that you change will get updated on the other one. All right, I hit the back arrow up here and it brought me right back into my Subject To app for the Subject To short video example. It now says Subject To Sample LLC, and it updated the name and the phone number that was incorrect down here. So now it says Subject To Sample LLC, and it has the phone number that I changed it to. Disregard these fields until we get it hooked up with the Randy Hughes trustee stuff, if we end up doing that. Legal description. If you don't know something, put a blank line. Do not leave a field blank unless it's these two, which I'll probably end up taking off so it doesn't cause confusion, and these like this. If there's no, the mortgage has never been modified, then obviously there's not going to be anything here. But every one of these fields, you need to make a decision or enter something in that before you create the documents. It doesn't mean you have to do it all at one time, but before you create the documents, you need to have everything decided on. Okay, your buying entity information. Okay, we put the long line there. Lender loan info. Lender name. Why did we put NA? Why did seller put NA? Why did I do that a while ago? Maybe I put that in the wrong place. Lender name is local state bank. It's just a sample. There's the interest rate, 3.5%. There's the lender's address. If they don't have it and then you need to go back and add it, you need to go back and add it because that's going to go on your closing documents. There's the account number. So just verify all that. We're going to use My Title Company. This is just a fake name, My Title Company. All right. Now we're at ready to prepare your docs. Are all the above fields filled in? If you have one that's not filled in, it's going to look funny. If you want to change this right here, now's the time. I like to add things like old chest freezer in the garage needs to be disposed of prior to closing. All right, things like that. So then now that's in there. All right, so it's just telling me to make sure that I have everything filled in, and if you just went through the form and filled everything out, then you're ready to press the button. Here we go. All right, and pow. You have an option of making one with or without a contract. If you do one without a contract, it's going to come up right here and tell you to take this page out and insert your contract. If you choose to make one with a then it's got all your documents, everything. There's all your totals and everything. There's where Karen edited to show the example. Everything that we put in that form is on this. There's our blank line because we didn't have a legal description. So see, if you left something out, like let's say you left out the husband's name, it would just say seller Susan Seller Sellers. So it wouldn't have a blank line. If you don't put a blank line in, it's not going to make a blank line. All right, I'm not going to go through all this because this is all stuff that we'll go through at the subject to event. Authorization to release loan information. The blank authorization to, when I say blank, there's no bank name and it's undated, but the seller will still sign it. That's it. Hope that helps. Understand what we're doing here.